Knox, you got any thoughts on trying to get this interview turned?
Something that's been really interesting to see is that the secular culture has finally figured out how bad porn is. And so to say porn is bad isn't really like a new revelation.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Porn stars are coming out saying, we don't watch porn.
Wow.
Because otherwise I can't perform it. You have people who are in the industry that are saying, look, I want to have a normal life.
Who said that? Do we got a clip of a porn star saying that?
Probably out there somewhere, but
don't Google it.
I know.
I'll let
you know. I'm not your guy to research that.
Google.
Don't Google. I don't really do that.
But so they were on the show, whatever. So that's probably the cleanest way to find it.
Whatever.
I wouldn't search whatever either because
Whatever podcast has so many things on it.
It's not.
Yeah.
But they show up in my feed, and I never go to their show to watch their show, but their show is interesting. It's actually a show probably worth watching.
I did look at their stuff just a little bit with this one guy who was like debating Christianity, but he like smoking a cigarette all the time. I think it's like something Owen or whatever. But he just, after a while, it turns into like, oh, this guy's an intellect, and then he just just wrecks people, and then it's like the video of him just wrecking people. So he'll have debates, but it's not an intellectual exercise. It literally is like it's like a, what do you call it? With reality TV, just like crash television. Yeah. It's kind of that now.
That's exactly
it's like
what
it's the new crash TV. You get a bunch of like attractive girls who are trying to debate a guy who has an intellect, and then they just get wrecked, but they just keep on digging
off
down.
Of very basic stuff.
Yeah. Dude. And so after I was like, this isn't actually edifying.
So
like, I don't.
I just watch their reels and when they pop up. It's some great real content.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's over in like.
I can't listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I could, but it's not just him. I've seen other guys who, you know, a lot of guys who are out there now are just like, look, if you want to be masculine, the whole masculine movement, guys, look, what's his name even says it, doesn't he? Which is kind of weird. Tate. Those guys will talk about it too. Like, yo, stop watching porn.
Well, that's how he got made a lot of his money.
Yeah, I know. Porn. Stop watching porn. Go work out. And so you have
this that testosterone.
Yeah, you have this reality that pornography is officially bad for you. And
here's another angle. You got multiple states that have banned Pornhub from their state.
Right.
And they didn't ban Pornhub. All they asked was for an ID.
So part of it for me is like,
you don't need voter ID, but you need an ID to access Pornhub.
Part of it for me would be asking Eric, he's like, it seems like the momentum is going the right direction.
Yeah, that's a good question.
And so with the momentum going the right direction, are you happy with the fact that a lot of these guys aren't becoming Christian, but it seems like they're at least, you have somebody on the team saying, yo, get rid of porn.
Yeah.
Just get porn out your life.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a conflict in one sense that says, is it possible for a guy to just get rid of porn without having to have all the tools? And, you know, it's like, would you be in one sense, would you be happy with that? Like, is that a win for you? Kind of want to know where, because there's sometimes with some people, they're just like, yo, if you don't use our stuff, you're not going to beat it. You can't get rid of it. Yeah. You got to have this kind of setup. But even, what's his name, the anti-Semite? Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is out there. Yo, stop being the guy who sits there and watch naked women, go get married, have you a bunch of kids, love your wife, go to church. It's the Jews' fault. And I'm not joking.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what he says, right?
Well, they think the Jews control the porn industry.
Well, that's...
Hollywood, all that.
That was the same thing that happened during the Weimar Republic. That's it, right? Weimar?
Myanmar.
I ain't trusting.
It starts with an M.
Yeah. No, it starts with a V. Weimar Republic? Before the whole Germany thing, they would say
it was Myanmar.
Point to that. I don't think that's necessarily accurate.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that the people are starting to figure out that porn is a thing that they use porn to control you. And a lot of people now who are trying to push against the globalist effect oh man, there's so much there, are starting to say the way that we unhook ourselves from this globalist techocracy pool is to get away from pornography. But I'm wondering how he feels like if with that problem being so, because there's a part of it is like, look, I'm just happy that Kendrick Lamar and the Drake conversation has made it very clear that we are against pedophilia. I'm happy for that win.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we are. I mean, maybe.
That's the whole thing.
I know. But
That is the whole thing. He's trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor.
no,
and
I
he's
believe
got
he's against it.
everybody.
I believe he's against it. I'm just saying, like, societal wide,
But
it's getting worse.
no, he just planted a flag deep in the heart of hip hop culture that that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody is like, Drake. I saw a little white kid in the suburbs talking about like, I'm so happy Kendrick Lamar is trying to free these kids from Drake. It's like, well,
Drake's never going to recover.
we don't even know if it's true. We have no idea if it's true or not.
And he's never going to recover.
And you know what? In this case, I don't care.
Yeah.
We were going so far the other way that somebody struck a chord with the culture that said, look, we've been left now to cell block 1 to defend children. And hip-hop artists to say, guess what we're not going to allow? Guess what we're always going to be against? Yeah. Guys want A minor. And you got the stadium singing it.
But, dude,
and now
you got hip-hop culture has been screwing minors for a minute. Kelly, B. Diddy.
And you know what? And all of them are like, yeah, we ain't doing it. Like we're not going to do it.
Yeah,
People was always mad the fact that who would let Aaliyah and R. Kelly, people was always mad at her parents. People was always mad at that whole situation, right? Yeah. But there's been a straight flag. It's like, look, if you're with the guy who goes for young girls, we ain't even feeling you no more. Yeah. So I'll take the culture win, but that's not enough to sustain the correction, right? That's just more moralism in one sense, right? What?
Is this supposed to be plugged in? That is.
All right. So here's then where I think we should start off the show.
So I think you have what I'm thinking about, and the stuff that that's in my head is.
I think you brought up some great things.
I'm thinking of the human side of.
Eric's gonna not even know who Lamar is or Drake.
Yeah, switch it around. Switch them. It's on here right now. It's on that.
But that's not.
Eric,
but that's not. He didn't have to.
No.
Although he should. He should be. But.
Switch it.
I would.
Switch it.
I think it'd be interesting for him to talk about. Do you know? Porn has become such a part of our culture here in America that they have podcasts out there now that people can listen to. Just like
porn
subscribe.
Podcasts.
Yes.
Sure. But Howard Stern paid that way.
Right. But he was in a certain sect of listen. He was in a certain sect of listening. Right? Like you had to have special stuff to listen to Howard Stern.
Yeah, right. You'd buy a paywall.
And now it's just right on Apple Pay.
Right.
They just got their shows.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, what is? It's such a part of culture that there isn't any shock to it anymore.
No.
When you can go now, like porn culture. Oh, this is probably another area too.
That's crazy.
Porn culture, heterosexual porn culture created what we have in the homosexual culture.
Yeah.
Like the prevalence of all that.
Actually, but porn culture is a homosexual culture. It's fundamentally homosexual. It's driven by men, and it's driven by men who want to please themselves.
No, hold on. Now there's a lot of ladies involved in that.
100%. But most, and there's, while there might be some madams in the industry, let's say basically women leaders in the industry, it's primarily driven by men.
I don't think so.
Are you serious?
I don't think so. I completely disagree.
When we look at how many are in...
I want to have this conversation, and I want to have it with Toby and Eric.
Let's do it. I've been waiting to have this conversation because I've heard you guys talk about this, and I think you guys are missing how corrupted women are.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
Oh yes, you are.
They're not corrupt.
No, dude.
They're absolutely corruptible in this way.
The madams on OnlyFans.
No, they're the worst. The madams will be worse than the men.
I'm just saying they're not madams
But
anymore.
there's a reason why in Romans 1 it addressed men and homosexuals first before it got to the women.
Sure. I'm just saying that we're past that point.
I think.
And you can't make that assessment of men and women any different anymore. The women are taking it by storm.
And I think that's the women empowerment movement.
Absolutely.
And this is the thing that I'm trying to say too is I think right now there may be more people who are, which I think should be spoken on, right? So porn is becoming less cool, but consensual sex is like way high. So it's like
Yeah.
this,
No,
it's like this,
no, sex is down though.
Well,
that's what's
culturally.
that
here's the thing.
culturally it's all down.
I think that's the kind of pushes.
Well, it depends on what we're calling sex.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's what we were kind of trying to say. It's like
It
Yeah.
shifted to robots.
I'm just saying there's a lot of sexual pleasure being had right now still.
Yeah, but
The kind of
I
things
mean,
that-
all these surveys and studies are showing that actual relational sex is like way down. Like not even just relational. Like people are having less sex.
Well, so I've heard that too, and once again, I haven't checked it out.
Yeah.
But like, just the recognition of like, maybe it's also like we're in a college town, but like, and Tinder exists, but like, it's so easy to have sex nowadays. Like, it's super easy to just hook up.
I've heard
with
Rabbi
people.
Shmuley talk about this too.
And it's just like normal. It's
the
like
hookup
normal.
culture is still very much prevalent, but the it's funny. The people that are actually having sex are married couples.
So
Yeah.
they're going to have
Yeah.
more sex. And I think
Yeah.
that that's what's cool. Is everyone's like, okay, we're doing that. But like the normalization of this is like so much. Like
That's true.
Even like we were talking, what was that? Like the discussions that they would be having over like in Oxford or Cambridge. And then they'll have like those hip hop cats over there and this girl's asking like, oh, blah, 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 like your women's degrading. Like, do you think that you're degrading the women? You should be speaking out. And he's like, well, I don't know. Because like, you're like, well, we call you this certain word, the B word and everything. And then after a while, he just like flips. He's like, oh, I haven't met you. And she's like, well, I am the B word, you know? And then they just like lean into it. So like
There's
women,
not- yeah.
women don't have this class anymore. This is in Cambridge, right?
Yeah.
Now
This
I know
is-
that we're like, okay, they've been going for a while. But when we're having those videos and we're like, oh, cool debate, you know, debate thing there, they use the same rooms to have like the whatever podcast. Oh, wow, that was a great turn of phrase that he did on this girl who's asking about like the gospel. That same spot is where people are talking this way, right? So you're not actually like taking things over, I don't think. I think what we're doing is we're planting seeds of the next generation, right? Like you were bringing up, it's like if we have all these families, then in time your people are gonna like not exist anymore. But like there's so much, dude, like of sexual things,
Yeah.
like by conservatives, gun people, like because that's what I'm into. Like they're all into this stuff. We're like, oh, America, freedom, and then like me having sex the way that I want to. There's a ton of memes out there that are super sexualized.
You know,
Sure,
and
but,
I think
but the more you pervert an institution that God has called good, and in a relationship that God has called good, you're gonna get more of this memeing culture, or videos, Pornhub. You're gonna get more of that, but it's actually in reality gonna go down.
you're gonna get more perversion.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna get
More perversion,
but-
but less practices. You're
but
saying.
less
Like,
but less of it.
Well, I think you get more perversion, less fruitfulness.
Yeah, man. You've been traveling?
You've been traveling.
No, man. You were traveling.
I don't know. You done got a whole new government, and now you start to create bases around places. Setting up new workshops in the military.
That's right. That's right.
We're gonna need a border around here. There's more of us now.
Yep.
How they doing?
Oh, they're great. They're great.
That's
They're good, yeah. And she's
You just celebrated 24 years.
24 years.
Look at that.
Yeah. 2 dozen. 2 dozen. We
Thank you.
did you see my post? I ordered I got fresh steamed crabs from Maryland, shipped
Yeah.
overnight for her for
Wow.
24 years.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
That's like her. That's her love language right there.
Uh-huh.
She grew up crabbing on
Yeah.
the Chesapeake Bay.
Yep.
And
You just winning. That's all you're doing.
and
Just
no,
winning.
she was loving it. So
So Toby, we're doing Accountable to You. They
I saw it on the calendar.
Yeah, yeah.
I got that far.
And they were doing Red Balloon. But here's Accountable. So here's where I want to start with it. And I'll read more of this live. Accountable to You wants to get to their talking points on
Yeah.
how to
Yeah,
fight. But like you think of Drake Lamar, kind of the battle against pedophilia.
Drake Lamar.
Drake and
was
Kendrick Lamar.
Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
Yes.
Did you were you here? Was Toby here when he had that discussion about Drake and Kendrick Lamar going back and forth online? Oh.
Did we have that discussion?
Me and you offline, we did. We were
I
talking about
don't know who Drake Lamar is.
Drake and Kendrick. But anyway, so it seems like there's actually some momentum against it.
I'm going to keep saying it.
This is where I'm going to start the show.
Okay.
Tennessee, the House Joint Resolution. This was signed back in April, but now it's. I think the governor maybe. It started in the House back in April. I think the governor signed it in May. So the governor of Tennessee signed this. On April 16, 2024, Governor Lee signed HJR 803 into law. This House Joint Resolution calls those who are physically able and spiritually inclined to do so to join in a 30-day season of prayer and intermittent fasting for the month of July as a means of humbling ourselves to receive God's grace, mercy, and blessing in Tennessee and in our nation. I'm going to give more info on air, but the resolution is fantastic. I mean, there actually lists sins that we need to repent of. And they're...
Including pornography?
Actually, I haven't read all the details, but...
What's something real white? Like real white, like culturally.
Like golf.
It's really white.
It's just a cultural white, like super white.
I don't know.
Martini.
It's
Sweet Caroline?
Well, it's very English, British.
What
What is
is
something super...
like a guy in a khaki shirt, polo? You know, khaki shorts and polo. And that's
middle class fancy.
anything kind of white boy summer.
No, that's not White Boy Summer.
Yeah, White Summer's like colorful.
Yeah.
And,
you can't be more black with white boy summer, honestly.
Yeah. I know, right? Pink shirts. Yeah.
You can't.
I know.
Can't.
Yeah.
It's just that's the joke. That's
Yeah.
it's like y'all keep running that one.
Yeah.
Dang, Chuck, you should say that. You really.
Pastor Toby's sister.
He just did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that camera right there?
That's true. I was like, all right, he's in.